Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Joel Tiamogis, and the subject for today is Crimtic 6 Legal Medicine. And the time is TTH from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Our first chapter is Legal Medicine. Legal medicine is a branch of it's a branch of medicine which deals with the application of medical knowledge to the purpose of law in the administration of justice. So legal medicine is the study of medicine, also is study of law in order to solve the administration justice. Legal medicine also is a primary that application of the medical to legal cases, and while forensic medicine concerned with the application of the medical science elucidate legal problems. On the other hand, medical jurisprudence is juris law, prudential knowledge, denotes knowledge of law. So there are types of medicine, legal medicine. The legal medicine, the forensic medicine, and the medical jurisprudence medicine. So legal medicine is the more on study in case in order to solve the case in giving justice, while the forensic medicine is applicable in the science, applicable in medical science in the legal medicine, while medical jurisprudence is more on juris law of giving the legal medicine. Nature of studying of legal medicine. A knowledge of legal medicine means the ability to acquire facts, the power to arrange those facts in the logical order, and draw. So, ang nature daw sa pag-study sa legal medicine is to gather facts and giving knowledge, also power to solve the logical or logical situation in the case of the police, and in the case of the situation of the report, and also in giving to the explanation of how and what happened to the body. So there are two types of there are ordinary physician and medical jurist. So ordinary physician is only see the injury or disease of the point of the view of the treatment, while the medical jurist is see the injury or disease on the point of view of the cause. So the ordinary physician is only give is what is the injury, or treat only the injury, while the medical jurist is gather information in how the injury have been damaged in the person. The purpose of ordinary physician is the patient to arrive at definition of this diagnosis to the appropriate treatment can be instituted, while the purpose of the medical jurist is examine a patient is to include the body lesion in his report and testify before the court of the. So the ordinary physician is only giving treatment for the patient and diagnose the body, while the medical jurist is examine the body and gather information in order to present in the court. So other definition. Excuse me. Other definition, law is a rule of conduct, or that is the general explanation of law is a rule of conduct. There are forms of law. The written or centenary law, or lex scripta, it composes the law which are produced by the country legislation which are defined, conduct, and evaluated by the law-making body, or also known as the Law of the Philippines. While the second one is unwritten or common law, lex non scripta. This composed of the unwritten law based on immemorial customs and usage. For example of that law is Law of England. So, forensic. Forensics denote anything belongs to the court of law or used in court or legal proceeding or something fitting for legal or public argumentation. So, forensic is this forensic is can be used in the court to present in the court for fit for legal and public argument. So the number 3 is medicine. Medicine is a science and art dealing with prevention, cure, and alleviation of disease. So medicine is to cure injury or disease of the person. So and the number 4 is legal. Legal is which pertains to law, arising out of physical virtue of or including in law. Legal is one of the strong explanation of law in order to implement the law to become legal. Jurisprudence is a practical science which investigate the nature, origin, development, and function of law. So jurisprudence is the root of developing and functioning of the law of the Philippines. So branches of law where legal medicine may be applied. See, number 1, civil law. There are the sample of civil law is the limitation of restriction of the nature of person capacity to act, or the marriage and legal separation, the paternity and filiation, the testamentary capacity of person for making a will. Number 2 is criminal law. This law is branch which crime treats of their nature, just like criminal against person, criminal against chastity, or etc. That was the number 3 is remedial law. Remedial law is a branch of law, the division of the which deals the rules concerning pledging or practices. Sample is physical and mental examination of person, proceeding of hospitalization of an insane person, or rule of evidence. Number 4 is the special law. This law is the Dangerous Drugs Act, Youth and Child Welfare Code, Insurance Law, or Code of Sanitation. That are the crimes that belong in the special law. Briefing history of legal medicine. In the earliest record, medical legal expert was Imhotep in 2980 BC. He was the chief physician and archivist of the King Zoser of the third dynasty of Egypt and the builder of the first pyramid. That was the first record reported of a murder trail written by the clay table. So, the first medical legal expert was Imhotep, the chief physician of King Zoser. And the oldest code of the Philippines is the Code of Hammurabi from 2200 BC, including legalization or adultery, rape, divorce, incest, abortion, and violence. In 1584 to 1659, Paulus Zacchaeus
Chaos.
Zacchaeus
Kuan ba? Wala slang ba? Or right.
ipost sa bibig post
Kasi putol-putol na, edit ko na. Edit ko eh.
in 15
Unsa naman ka?
in 1584 to 1659, Paulus Zacchaeus was the father of forensic medicine in that year. In the Philippines, in 1858, the first medical text printed by Dr. Rafael Gerard E. Mas, Chief Army Physician, entitled by Manual de Medicina Domestica. In 1871, teaching of legal medicine include as a subject foundation of the School of Medicine of the Rei Pontificia Universidad de Santo Tomas. In June 18, 1949, Republic Act 409 amended Republic Act 1934 provide for the creation of the Office of the Medical Examiner and Criminal Investigation Laboratory under the Police Department of the City of Manila. Evidence. Medical evidence. Evidence is a means sanctioned by the rules of court of ascertaining in the judicial proceeding the truth respecting a matter of fact. So evidence is one of the important facts in the court or in the crime scene. Types of medical evidence. Autopic or real evidence. This evidence known or address the sense of the court. It is limited that which is known through the sense of vision or extended to what the sense of hearing, taste, smell, and touch is perceived. So real evidence is more on sense of vision, in order that the evidence is you can see the evidence of the real evidence. There are two types of real evidence or autoptic evidence. Indecency and impropriety. And the other one is the repulsive object and those offensive to essential liability. Number 2, testimonial evidence. A physical may be common appear before the court give his testimony. So the testimonial evidence is important in order to by the medical legal expert. There are two types of testimonial evidence: the ordinary witness and the expert witness. The ordinary witness is the testify in the court matters by the his patient of cause of what he see of the in the crime scene, while the expert witness is with a degree of being a medical legal expert that have a title that he hold. Number 3 is experimental evidence. Medical witness may be allowed to conduct, confirm his allegation, or corroborate proof of the opinion of he previously stated. Or this one is the examine fact of the medical legal, the experimental evidence. Documentary evidence. Documentary evidence is there are medical examination, laboratory physical examination or the papers of or documents that the medical legal been examined and printed by the medical legal. There are physical evidence. Physical evidence is the material which are founded connection with the investigation in any establishment identify of the perpetrator or the circumstances under which the crime was committed. Physical evidence is evidence that in the crime scene or in the crime scene that when the perpetrator is used for in order to cause the crime. Preservation of evidence. So there are method of preserving evidence. Number one is photograph. You can picture the evidence in order to preserve the evidence or have a copy of the evidence. Number two is sketching. There are two kinds of sketching or sketch. First is the rough sketch or the initial sketch of the sketcher, and the second is the finished sketch or the whole image of the image or the finished product of the sketcher. Number three is description. Description is the putting of the words and person of the things to be preserved, describing the required keen observation and good power of attention of your intellect experience, just like skin lesion, penetrating wounds, and mental laceration and person. Number four is mannequin method. Mannequin method is the model of the science of the human body in creating marks of the various aspects of the things of the person, or in the crime scene that you can use the mannequin method in order to miniature or model the body of the victim. Number five is preservation of the mind of the witness. This is who preserve the something relevant of the proper application of the case, may be witness of the court, or you can preserve the knowledge of the witness or give him time to explain what has he been seen in the crime scene. Special method way of treating certain types of evidence may be necessary. Preservation may be essential from the time is to cover from condition. So the special method is to treating certain types of evidence, or it depends on what kind of evidence you need, or what type of evidence you need to more in treating. So the next is identification of person. There are ordinary methods of identification. Number one is characteristic which make easily be changed, just like growth of hair, beard or mustache, clothing or frequent place of visit, grade of profession, body ornamentation. Number two is the characteristic that may not easily be changed, just as mental memory, speech, gulp, ataxic gulp. Oh, sorry. Gulp. There are types of gulp: ataxic gulp, Kerbella gulp, co-gulp, paretic gulp, is- spastic gulp, festinating gulp, frog gulp, and wheedling gulp. So, directional lines express the path of the individuals or the individual character of direction line. Gulp line is the straight line that connects to the center of the sitting steps of the pattern of the footsteps of the person. Foot line is the longitude line draw or the one each of the foot that mark may be step. The foot angle is the angle of the foot or the form of your foot in how to step. Principal angle is the angle between two skewing footstep or the angle of your two footstep in each second you step. Length of step is the which distance or how far or how wide is how length is your step by each foot. And breadth of step is the between is in the rhythm of your footstep. Foot or hand impression. Letter D is mannerism or the stereotype movement or your habit in how you move your body in your own way. Just like way of sitting, movement of the hand, movement of the body, movement of the facial muscle, of expression of the mouth while articulating, and manner of leaning. Letter E is hand and feet. The size of the hand shape and the abnormalities of your hand and feet. Number 1, foot or hand impression is device which the foot or hand is pressed on moldable materials like mud, clay, cement mixture, or other semi-solid mass. It's impression that can be preserved by making cast of it, or let's say as of the impression of your hand and foot. Number 2 is footprint or handprint. It's a hand mark or footmark of the hard base contaminated of the stem, or the most individual characteristic of the person is the handprint and footprint. Letter F, complexion. Complexion is determined with the whole body of the exposed of the ordinary sunlight. The common complexion may be found fair in the body complexion. Changes in the eyes. A person identified because it is nearsighted or farsighted or colorblind. There are some person that colorblind, some person that nearsighted or farsighted, and some person is also blind. Faces. There are the different kind of faces. Number 1, Hippocratic faces is the nose is pinched and dimpled, hollow eyes, sink, ears cold, lips relaxed, and skin livid. Of the appearance of the face included the approaching death. Number 2 is the Mongolian face or almond eyes, pale complexion, prominence or cheekbone. Number 3 is the faces leonine. Faces leonine. A particular deeply furrowed lion-like appearance of the face. This may be observed in leprosy, elephantiasis and leiotiasis oasis. And number 4 is the mixed demic phases or pale face on endometrious swelling which does not fit for pressure associated with dullness in the intellect, slow monotonous speech, muscular weakness, and not tremor. So there are face be round or oval, triangular, or slightly square. Number 1, left or left-handed. Love you. Points of identification applicable to both living and dead before onset of decomposition. Number 1 is the occupation mark. Certain occupation may result in some characteristic mark or identifying guide. Some as a shoe marker, development depreciation. Painters have stain or hand that fingernails. Engineer that mechanic may be of their hands, and the dressmaker develops multiple punctured marks on fingertips. Number two is race. There are living races may be presumption or the color of the skin, or your fair, brown, white, dark. And B is the feature of your face, or you are sharp nose, flat nose, almond eyes, or dull eyes. Then shape of the skull, round head, or elongated skull, or flat head. Number 3 is stature. A person ceases to increase in the height after the age of 25. There is a permanent shrinkage in height after losing standing vision, or this is your height metabolism. What do they call that? Your high, or your DNA in height, in genes in your height. Number 4 is tattoo marks. This is a symbol of your tattoo. Number 5 is weight, or the size of your body, or the weight of your body, or how much. And number 6 is deformities, or the particular way of walking, body movement, or how you and what habit did you know in how to move your body, or how to facial expression, how to open your mouth, how to close and open your eyes, and how to move your ears. Number 7 is birthmark, or the mark of your body that since birth. Number 8 is injury leaving permanent result, or the scars of your body that have been injured and healed. Then number 9 is the moles, or kumbaga alum, moles. And number 10 is scars, or the wounds of your body. Eleven is the tribal mark, or or the cultural tattoo of your, if you have a culture in your family or in your places. Number 12 is sexual organ or male organ, maybe show organ, sexual organ. And number 13 is blood examination or the type of your blood. If you are a type O, type B, type AB. Good evening, ma'am. This is the part 2 of my presentation. Anthropometry or battalion system. Alphonse Battalion of French criminologists devised a scheme utilizing anthropometrical measurement of the human body as the basis of identification. So si Alban Battalion ang nag-scheme or nagunsag mga utensils in order to measure the human body and to determine their basis of identification. Okay, basis of battalion system of identification. Number 1, the human skeleton is unchangeable after the 28th year. So, ang human skeleton daw is dili na daw siya mabago pag abot nimo sa edad na 20. According to battalion system of identification. Number 2, it is impossible to find two human beings having bones exactly alike. So, dili daw, kumbaga, rare lang daw makita sa duha ka tao na same sila o kaning body structure, body weight, bone structure, bone weight, and kanang same ilang skeletal or bones structure silang lawas. Number 3, the necessary measurement can be easily be taken with an aid of simple instrument. So, ang pag-measurement dali ra daw kung naay mga gamit. Information include the system. Descriptive data. So, descriptive data is muna siya mga color of the hair, eyes, and complexion, shape of the nose, ears, etc. Number 2, body marks. Ang body marks is muna siya mga moles, scars, tattoo marks, deformities, etc. Number 3, anthropometrical measurement. There are three kinds of measurement. Number 1 is body measurement, just like height, arms, legs, or sitting height. Letter B, measurement of the head. There are length and breadth of no head. Oizygomatical diameter and length of the right ear. Letter C, measurement of the limbs. There are the length of the left foot, length of the left and middle little finger, and length of the left arm and hand from elbow to tip of the outreach middle finger. So there are kinds of death. Somatic death or clinical death. This is the state of the body in which there is complete persistence and continuous cessation of the vital function of the brain, heart, and lungs which maintain life and health. somatic death or clinical death is the state of the body. Somatic death is there is vital function of the main main organ or main supply for your body in maintaining life and death or life and health. Number 2, molecular and cellular death. After cessation of the vital function of the body, there is still animal life among individual cells. About 3 to 6 hours later, there is death of individual cells. This is known as the molecular cellular death. It's most of the time is just like so molecular death is to an ability to move, to give movement of your muscle and cellular movement of other function of the individual cells. So number 3 is apparent death or state of suspended animation. This condition is really death by merely transient loss of conscious or temporary sensation of the vital function of the body, or account of disease external stimulate of the other form of influence. So this is giving disease or have mental disorder of a person that can be cause of death. So there are mistakes in autopsies. So number 1 is error or omission in the collection of evidence for identification. Just example is to failure to make frontal or oblique and profile photographs of the face. Number 2 is failure to have fingerprint made, failure to have complete dental examination. So this is error or omission on the collection of evidence of identification is to yung kanang wala na mo nakuha ang iyahang fingerprint or wala na mo na nakuha ang iyahang example sa iyahang dental or sa iyahang ngipon, or kalimot ka kuha sa picture sa iyahang nahong. Number 2 is error or omission in the collection of evidence required for establishing the time of death. Just like failure to report the rental temperature of the body, failure to observe that failure to observe the ingredients of the last meal in its location of the alimentary tract. So this kind of error is kalimot ka kuha sa iyahang facts or evidence kung kano sa siya na unsay temperature niya bago siya namata iyahang kamat niyan. So unsay mga last gikaon or meal na iyang gi-date bago siya namatay or nasa iyahang lawas. Number 3 is error or omission the collection of evidence required for the medical legal examination. Just like failure to collect specimen of the brain and determine the content of the alcohol of the barbiturates. Failure to determine the blood group of the dead person. Failure to collect nail skit. So kani siya ng mga collection of evidence is in the body of the person, just like brain cells, fingernails, blood type or iyang bahya alak, or ganang similar fluid, or their reasonable chance or fatal inquiries. Number 4 is error or omission result in the procedure of undesirable artifacts or in the destruction of valid evidence. Opening of the skull before the blood is remitted. So, ang kadisya mga error is kanang mga foul na pag-examine sa isa ka examiner or medical legal na examiner, kanang pag-foul niya sa pag-examine na nagka-exceed or extra damage sa body of the victim. So, mura ako ang report for the subject of Crimtech 6 of Legal Med TTH 7 to 9 PM. Thank you.